Hello everyone and welcome to another video from Ben and Roman market overview for the smart money concept trading, and also to look at other types of indicators like the DYDX or a dollar index, I should say, the Forex markets, and of course market cap and Bitcoin price. So if you're unfamiliar with the channel, welcome. Say hello, let us know you're here, leave a like, subscribe to the channel because we are live 3 times a week at least, unless we're on well-deserved holidays, but most of the times we're here 3 times a week. Yesterday we were here with the backtesting session and we did 21% on a 10-day testing session. That is impressive, right, Roman?
Oh yeah, it was very impressive. I still cannot believe that you've done that.
Well, I mean, I've just followed the strategy, that's all. But the market was Yup, right? Jupiter.
Jupiter, yeah.
And you traded Jupiter as well, right?
Oh yeah, I have.
All right. So
really
later on in this stream, we will show you how Roman traded Jupiter. So stay tuned to see how it played out with real money. So it's not a backtesting thing; it's a real thing. All right, let's bring your chart up into the screen.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, so today is pretty important day. We have a lot of updates coming, a lot of news, a lot of important metrics. So I'm really not sure what to predict right now. So we'll see. We'll just look at the chart and assume that there is no news, and we'll see if price gets into our target areas with the news. But yeah, these are pretty important federal fund rates that can affect every market, can affect Forex, it can affect crypto and gold and everything else.
So the expectation here is that it stays the same, right?
Yeah, that's the expectation. But who knows what will happen?
Are we hoping for a value lower or higher, or no, the same wouldn't change much, I think, but
yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest, like, because it's pretty chaotic at the moment, so it could go both ways, so it's hard to predict.
Yeah, well, I mean, with lower fund rates, then usually it means that there might be some more investment into companies, so that might be a good boost for economy. And maybe, yeah, I don't know. Maybe Bitcoin will be interesting as well then, because you can get more more profit in the market. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, usually if rates drop, then crypto moves up, and if rates rise, then crypto goes down. But yeah, in the short term, we can expect a lot of volatility there.
Yeah. By the way, I see a lot of new faces in the chat today. That's really good. So either they've been silently watching all the time, or we actually do have some new faces. So that's really great.
Yeah, that's good to see.
I love to see the increase in activity here.
And let's go to the charts. So this is the dollar index chart, and on the monthly time frame, this is actually the end of the month, like where we have like one more day. So yeah, so far it is going pretty much as I expected. So my expectation is that price will retrace into this monthly fair value gap at some point and then continue dropping, which will also drive crypto up. And also, let's remind what we've been discussing on the last stream. So usually August is pretty tough month for everything, to be honest, but for crypto specifically. And August is coming. So this is exactly what we can expect in the August. So dollar will rise while crypto will drop. And then start in September or October, we can see this reversal. So dollar will be dropping and crypto will be rising until the end of the year, I guess.
Yeah, because last week we were looking at the Bitcoin price per month, right? The average one, and August was historically bad.
Yeah, it is usually pretty bad.
So that falls into the plan that we're seeing here. So everything is still acting as normal, I suppose.
Yeah, we can switch to weekly time frame and see what's going on there. Yeah, so this week is expanded pretty fast, and we'll see how the news affects this expansion. But yeah, we have the whole next month to see the move up. And so far, it plays out just as I expected.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, we can switch to euro.
I mean, the outcome for us that Bitcoin will drop is not necessarily a good thing for us, but at least if we can anticipate it happening, then we can adjust our positions accordingly, of course. So it's good to have confirmation that what you predicted actually works out.
Yeah, I mean, it works out so far, but we'll see. So this is the euro chart, and I expect it to follow the same that the dollar does, but the opposite way. So basically, while the dollar is rising into the monthly fair value gap, I expect the euro to drop into the fair value gap within this August. So yeah, we have a lot of news that can affect this. Also, a lot of potential geopolitical news might be coming. So who knows?
Yeah, perhaps like the US deal with Europe with the 15% import tariffs might actually be better for the dollar compared to the euro. So maybe that's why we're seeing this drop now.
Yeah, and especially, I guess, short term, it will be pretty good for the dollar, and then market will adjust. So yeah, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
We can check also the Bitcoin index. On the futures chart, the CME exchange. But yeah, we still have this gap that would be really good to have it fulfilled. And again, with this potential drop that we expect in August, we can also expect it even lower.
Well, I mean, I'm laughing painfully, but actually, it's not a super bad thing for me because I do have a little bit of cash left over, so I wouldn't mind jumping back in at 96 just before November or something.
Yeah, there might be some potential support zones somewhere around here. Yes. But we'll wait and see. So I can remove this arrow. It didn't work out. When was that? Like a month ago? Let's check the market cap.
As expected, down a little bit. I mean, after such a massive move, like the last few weeks have been really, really good. I mean, even my sisters are starting to talk about crypto again. So.
Oh yeah. I have a lot of neighbors asking about crypto now. So I'm starting.
It's time to sell, people. When relatives that are always out of the market are asking you how it's going, then you know that it's a good time to start selling.
Yeah. So looking at the total market cap, I would say we have two major areas on the weekly chart that we can expect the support from. So the first frontier is around here. But if we see a major drop in August, then we might even be dropping lower to this weekly fair value gap, or at least taking this weekly target, weekly liquidity. So yeah, it would be around 25% drop if that happens.
Of the total market cap. That's kind of insane, actually.
I mean, that's pretty.
It's pretty standard in
normal
crypto,
for-
but compare that to the real world, like the traditional finance stuff. Like, can you imagine just evaporating 25% of the total market?
Yeah, like here, what was that? That was the February, like, and within 5 weeks it dropped 25%.
Jeez.
So it's fine. It's pretty healthy for crypto. So does the Bitcoin dominance chart, it actually started showing some signs of reversal after this massive drop last week. So, yeah, not sure yet what to expect here, but we do see the weekly shift. So maybe we'll see some sellout in Bitcoin. And this again aligns well with the theory of August drop.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Let's go
not
over
too
to the
much to
chat,
see
by
there.
the way. Someone is asking us to look at Sui later on, so let's keep that in mind. And Benny Hogan is asking about the emails for our live streams. Do we have a schedule for live sessions? Can I find them on Discord? Well, they are also announced every hour before we start, but basically every week is the same. So around 12 o'clock UTC time for the Tuesday and Wednesday live stream, and 2 o'clock UTC time for the Thursday live stream. Yeah, so that's pretty much the schedule, and it either continues or it either goes ahead or it doesn't, and then you'll get a notification with that at least an hour in advance, whether or not it's like, if we know that it's not going to go ahead, then we'll know beforehand. And also we like to publish the live streams in advance, so you should already see the live stream for the next that are scheduled next. And also, obviously, if you subscribe and hit the notification bell, then you will be notified when it happens. Another request for Pepe, BNB or Ethereum. Well, BNB and Ethereum we will be looking at anyway.
Okay. So yeah, let's start with the Bitcoin. We can see that we had this fair value gap drawn here on the previous stream last week.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, we've had the stream last week. And it actually revisited this fair value gap on Friday. But yeah, to be honest, there was not too many options to enter. Let me check the hourly. Oh yeah. No, there was no shift. I think.
No. The shift is really high. Like
6 up here.
Yeah, so you have the fair value gap entry. Well, you could not have taken the lowest one. So this is the only entry that you have. Did it work out? No. Like no.
No, not yet.
No, the risk reward ratio is also horrendous. Like you would have to set it to. Can you set it to the low part of the fair value gap?
No.
Yeah, so that would work out to the top. So if it would hit a new all-time high or something like that, then it would be nice. A nice 4, but yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look like a solid trade to me.
Yeah, not yet. But what we can see here is a pretty good liquidity compression. So sooner or later, we can see an expansion into this area. So we have this rejection block on daily time frame. And this liquidity. So I think there would be like 2 scenarios, either something like this, taking out this closest liquidity and target like this. And another option would be probably something like this. But yeah, if that happens, it probably should happen before the August starts. So either today or tomorrow, or just by the end of the week, the first days of August.
Yeah. And that looks like it looks a little bit like a range trade as well, just like the one below.
Yeah, Bitcoin usually does it like this. So it moves sideways and slowly, slightly down, and then expands to the upside.
Yeah.
But sooner or later, it has to stop, right? It
Never.
cannot go like this forever.
It sure can, and it will. Oh. You can see the periods are getting a little bit shorter, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also an indication of the market slowing down. So like here, we had the whole year within this huge range.
I know.
Like almost a year.
Yeah. It was painful.
Yeah, not as painful as for Ethereum holders. But yeah. So yeah, not too much to say on Bitcoin. So far, it might also go up. But again, since we have a lot of expectation to drop in August, it might. And yeah, first target would be this weekly fair value gap, which is at 110,000.
That's still acceptable.
Yeah, that's good. But then we have the other target here, which is 98,000.
Yeah. Then we're getting into a little bit more scary territory. I think it's also going to be like, it's going to take a while for it to get there.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. The thing is, we don't need to really predict. We can just anticipate, right? That's the whole beauty of this this smart money concept strategy. There is no full prediction. It's just it can go this way and that way, and once it goes either way, we enter our position in this direction based on the correct entry decision. So that would be a shift or a fair value gap.
Yeah, so let's say if we see the weekly candle closes below this fair value gap, then we can see the move down, the correction down, at least to this point. So if that happens, then you can try to short.
Yeah. Someone asked if Bitcoin will reach a new all-time high by the end of the year. I generally think so.
Yeah, I believe I have the target here at 130. So this is what I would expect. And I think just logically, it would make a lot of sense. So
yeah,
again, just to have a correction next month and then have the Bitcoin after this correction, even into this area, into 90,000, and then expand to this.
Yeah, I mean,
price range.
That would be the most beautiful scenario, of course. That's 30% increase.
Yeah, and so what will happen there? So I don't think that Bitcoin will go any higher until the end of the year, or higher than this area. But what this will do is that it will open up the road for altcoins.
Yeah.
So potentially, if we have the expansion from 90s, then we can have the Bitcoin slowing down around this area, and then meanwhile, altcoins will just rise significantly.
Yeah. So in order to keep track of time, we should look at quickly look at Ethereum, and we've got Sui, and we've got and you need to show your Jupiter trade, of course, because that was kind of textbook.
Yeah. Okay, so on monthly on Ethereum, it's really hard to say something because with this expansion,
I see people asking about Bitmart and gifts and things like that. That is not this webinar, people. If you've signed up for the Bitmart webinar, that is going to be after this one. Then you will get a Bitmart gift there. All right.
Okay. So we have with this expansion on monthly time frame, there's really hard to predict anything on Ethereum. But if we switch to weekly, we can see that there was pretty good order flow starting from here. And then it again expanded massively, leaving a couple of fair value gaps on the way. And yeah, like ideal scenario, if we again think about the potential August drop, it would be to take out this closest liquidity and then drop somewhere. So yeah, there are two potential areas where to drop on these two weekly fair value gaps. I think it will make a lot of sense if that happens. Also, yeah, we just took out this swing on weekly. So maybe, yeah, I think it can go there, can go up.
Yeah, that 4,000 should be taken, right?
Yeah, but also here on daily, you can see we have this RSI divergence already.
Oh, true.
Just
Yeah.
another confirmation. So, but it's pretty normal to have another high before the reversal or RSI divergence. That is pretty normal. So it can happen. We'll see. And there was something I think interesting on 4 hour. So there is the liquidity compression built in, combined with this fair value gap on 4 hour. So in the short term, maybe even today, I would be looking for this kind of a position to take out this closest swing high.
Oh yeah, that could be, because that fair value gap is relatively small, so it happens with a little bit more gradual pace, then there might be a good entry.
Yeah, and we have this equal lows as well. So yeah, a lot of criteria that falls into that. Yeah, that's what I'll be looking for. And I can also set the alert if you want to trade this one. Well,
yeah, of course, I want to trade everything. That's the Bitmart event will start in 35 minutes. So please make sure you sign up if you've received a invitation.
okay, this is one of the markets that I don't like at all, the BNB. To me, this is one of the trickiest markets to trade. I just do not understand how it works. Yeah, let's just see what's going on there. On the weekly time frame, we see this so far pretty bullish movement with higher highs. But after taking the last swing high, we have this rejection candle that by the end of the week might consume, like engulf this one. And this could start this short-term correction, or maybe even go into the August correction. Let's see what are the closest targets there. Again, like with this 20-25% drops, it could be possible if it goes down to $600. Or at least into this order block area. But yeah, as I said, like to me, BNB is really tricky. So maybe if I would just close my eyes and didn't know that this is BNB, so here I would say we have the inverse parallel
Your
gap.
BNB bias is a little bit showing.
Yeah, that's true. So we have the inverse parallel gap that like we need to wait until the day closes. And if that happens, that it will create the daily fair value gap here, bearish one. So maybe it will open up some way for shorts into this weekly fair value gap. Yeah, so I would look for this one if that happens. So if daily candle closes like this, I would look for this type of short position, and then maybe even down to the end of the weekly fair value gap. Okay, so what else did we have?
Sui.
Yeah,
Sui.
Sui.
Sui went crazy for a bit, I believe.
Yeah. Do I have it in watchlist? Nope.
You've got it to euro.
Oh. Yeah, it is here. Yeah, Sui went pretty crazy the last few weeks, taking out this closest liquidity. And I actually wanted to buy some Sui on spot, but missed my entry point just a little. And yeah, a little sad about that. But what usually happens to Sui is that it expands really fast. Well, that's what I noticed over the years. So it expands really fast when nothing else is growing, but then it also drops significantly. So after this expansion, I think we can expect the drop together with the other coins that we discussed. On weekly time frame, we have this closest fair value gap to be the first target, but it is really close. So we'll definitely revisit this one. And then probably the last frontier would be this order block. Yeah, I think this is where we can see and expect the continuation somewhere around this order block. And again, if we check the daily chart, we can see that we have the inverse parallel gap up to taking out liquidity. It's major weekly liquidity. So inverse parallel gap formed, and it's also the double fair value gap, or so-called balanced price range. So again, similar to BNB, this type of move is pretty possible. Like, or even this one, we have this fair value gap as well. But yeah, there are two scenarios that I would look for. And I will also set the alerts here. Yeah, actually, so I will show you my positions on Jupiter, but I also had the same position on Sui around here yesterday, but it just didn't reach my entry point, just slightly. So here we had this revisit of the 4-hour fair value gap, and then we had the shift. And then I just went too greedy and I set my entry here on this fair value gap instead of setting it on the shift.
Yeah, why did you do that?
Because it gives better risk-reward ratio.
Yeah, but your trade needs to get filled in order to get any risk-reward ratio. And then, only it would have been half, right? Because then it's an entry on a different thing. Or would you consider that still a full?
No, that's the shift.
It's the shift.
It's the shift, yeah. And I mean, it worked on Jupiter and Solana, so it just didn't work on Sui. So I just found for myself that it's really boring for me to trade for like 1 to 3 risk-reward ratio. So what I do this, like here I have 5.4, and with this it is 4. Like it is boring.
Yeah. But I mean, obviously, you just have to realize how often you're missing out on trades. Obviously, you're increasing your profit potential on the ones you do get. But yeah, it is a question of like, am I right or wrong?
Yeah, it's just like you need to check all the cases and see mathematically if you're winning or losing with this approach.
Yeah. So we've still got Jupiter to show.
Yeah, and Pepe.
And Pepe. So let's do Pepe first.
Okay.
Pepe. 1,000 Pepe. Wow.
Yeah.
You don't just get one, you get 1,000.
For a long time, yeah. So we had this monthly liquidity sweep, then anniversary leg up on monthly. Nothing else.
If you already have a Bitmart account, you can still watch the event. If you don't have Altrady yet, it's still worth it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see how it moves because it's really hard to see, to understand.
See some fulfill on the fair value gap here. On the daily. Yeah, there. No.
You mean this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's really, I don't really understand the direction of this market. So I took out this liquidity then and had the daily shift.
Yeah, it's like normally
the daily shift.
Normally you would have expected it to be so this was come on. This was a bit like the panic move here, and then the recovery, and then it just was a reversal pattern because it went up again. So this looks more like a panic one again. The impulse part.
Yeah. So yeah, but I mean, you can see that we have the daily shift, then daily fair value gap being revisited, and it worked pretty well. So it was respected and it pushed the price down. So far, it ignored this fair value gap.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But the day's not over yet, so it could still be a sweep of the fair value gap.
Yeah, so we have another one, but then we also have this liquidity compression. So
yeah, so that's a strong magnet, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard to tell.
All right, in terms of time, the last remaining thing that we can do today is look at Jupiter and see how Roman has traded this with, I don't know, mild success.
Yeah, let me redraw it on the chart. And I'll just explain my logic, what I had there. So we have this weekly sweep of liquidity. And then what we can do is that with weekly, you can combine 4 hour as a lower time frame. So then on 4 hour, we had the shift. Then I think there was something on daily. Yeah, there was this daily fair value gap that I looked at. Price revisited this daily fair value gap and pushed down, so it respected it on daily. And yeah, I believe I entered somewhere. Yeah, so I had one entry right here. This target.
That's a beast.
Yeah, you can see it's like 6.
Yeah, I
risk to
understand
reward
that you
ratio.
say the 3 ones are boring.
And yeah, here we had another 4-hour fair value gap. And I entered here as well. And yeah, I need to check how I entered here. Yeah, you can see I entered not on the shift, but slightly lower.
Yeah, I don't necessarily see which one. Oh, it's a close.
So yeah, here was the shift. And then I moved the entry here to the fair value gap fulfill. So here was my entry.
And
And
why
you can
did
see-
you why did you set your take profit at such a high risk reward? Right? Why not just stick to the 3?
It's not boring.
even with the you believe the word is greedy.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel more comfortable when I have this. I mean, even if I lose, then I will learn at some point. But so far, I have much more interest doing it like this.
True. No, obviously, if you can have 6x trades all the time, then it's way more fun. But they do take a little bit longer, right? How long was this? Oh,
No, it was like this was 2 days.
Oh, yeah. I mean, how do you deal with the stress of not closing it out?
Yeah, I actually just stopped looking at the chart. I had just one time that I looked at the chart yesterday when I showed it to a friend.
Yeah.
And I told him, like, yeah, you can see I had like 4x profit. And I just was explaining to him this mentality problems. So like, yeah, what do I do now? Do I close it or not? And he said, like, yeah, close it right now. I'm like, yeah, I'll never talk to you again.
Yeah, that's true. That's the common thing. Like people that aren't trading, they would say, "Hey, you're in profit, sell." Right? You already did way much more than I did, so it's like, get it now. I would sell. Profit is profit. There's a trick to that.
So there was one thing that I had one losing position here. So there was another for the gap, I think here. Or not. Oh yeah, no, this one. So when price entered here, I also tried to enter with the inverse fair value gap like this. So yeah, it was pretty boring trade, but I got stopped out.
Oh well, with 2 6x's, you're allowed to get stopped out once. That's still 11.
So here you can see this one.
11% trade. So that's not bad. All right, I think that's it for today.
Yeah.
People that are here for Bitmart, please check the chat. The link is in there. How to register. It will start in about 20 minutes. So we're gonna do the final preparations for those. Discuss with the Bitmart team, see if they're online and live and kicking and all that stuff. Yeah. So market update is done. Thank you for that, Roman. Lovely to see your trade on Jupiter. I wish you had done it in the shared account so we can, both profit. Actually, so I can profit from it because it's my my trading money. And tomorrow we'll be there with the quick scan trading, live scalping stuff at 2:00 UTC time. So hope to see you all there again. And again, if you're here for Bitmart, please sign up for Bitmart. It's going to be in about 20 minutes. There's no gifts in this webinar. So we will see you there. Thank you, Roman, again for these lovely charts.
Thank you too.
Thank you all for watching. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.